you go.
I offend people with the truth.
Hey, hey, Working Class Bell Hunter podcast. We're here. Where are we? We're in St. Louis.
Where are we?
St. Louis, yeah.
We're at ATA.
Missouri.
Missouri.
2020.
Mr. Collin. I always fuck up your last name.
Cottrell.
Oh, dude,
Cottrell.
I was going to say Cottrell.
Cottrell is how I always say
That's
it.
how I always say it.
A lot of people say Cottrell, which is how a lot of most people with that last name say it. But my grandpa said it's Cottrell, so I was like, okay,
all right,
I'll go with that.
Dude,
He says it's Irish.
You would know more than me.
Irish. He would know more than me.
He would know more.
Yeah. Well, what's up, dude? Thanks for doing this.
Dude, good to finally.
We've been trying to do this a long time.
We've been talking about doing this for, I think, 4 years now.
That sounds right.
I came to hunt Illinois with one of my buddies and tried to make it work every time. You guys are like 4 hours from where he's at, so it just never works out. And you know how hunting the rut is. So
It's
putting in your time. You got to put your time in, but
It's chaos.
Yeah, it is chaos.
It's chaos.
Yeah, it is. And I hunt pretty hard, so I don't have time to like leer away from the hunt usually. But
hunting season's so hard, so we can't schedule anything because of that, which is good. We got to hunt.
Yeah, that's part of why you guys do this, right?
Right. Yeah. Otherwise,
work all year to hunt all fall, right?
That's right.
Exactly. But yeah, it's probably been 4 years.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this, but you guys were the OGs, so I've been following you guys a long time before that. I mean, we had a few other podcasts out there, but nobody really dedicated like you guys. How long you guys been doing it now?
9 years coming up,
dude.
Close. So.
9 years in March.
That's so crazy to think about. That's so
wild.
That's so nuts.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Congratulations to you guys,
Thanks,
man.
man.
So
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Yeah, it only took us 4 years to get this podcast, so we weren't blowing you off.
No,
that's how slow we work.
No, man. No, that's how it goes, man. But it's good to be here with you guys. Good to be at the ATA show again. It's not like it used to be. I know you guys remember the back in the day. It was, man, pretty hopping out here. But we're still here. We still get to meet up with everybody, connect with everybody.
I love it. I do love the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I do too.
The only people who hate on ATA are the people that aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because it's for business.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, we're a podcast. What do you do?
Yeah,
but the connections and the people you see and just it's good.
It's really some of these people, the only time we see them is at ATA.
At the show.
Yeah.
At the show. Exactly. How many shows is this for you now?
8. How many ATAs?
Yeah.
I've been almost, I think, every year since 2011.
2011.
In there somewhere.
Yeah.
What about for you?
That's what I was thinking about the other day. I think it's 15. This is my 15th. So every year since 2007, I think.
Wow.
Or close to it.
Damn.
Somewhere right in there. Maybe a year off. I think 2020 or 2021 they didn't have it, right?
Oh, right.
Or something like that. But
COVID year.
About that.
But man, it's kind of crazy because I'm not old. You know what I mean? I'm in my late 30s. You know, I'm not an old guy, but I broke into this industry at 20 years old, you know.
Right.
So back in the day, you know. So
it's funny.
It's kind of weird to think about that, you know. I was like, man.
Then it was like people were throwing money around, like at the show, you know. It was like the VIP stuff and like the.
You remember the line? Like it would be Lee and Tiffany or Michael and all those guys, T-Bone.
The
and
signed posters where it had all the pictures and everybody
signing autographs.
I still have a bunch of them like framed in my garage. I went to Hobby Lobby and got the big frame, you know, and because at the time, like, I mean, I still think it's cool.
Oh yeah.
You know, but.
Hopefully that comes back. Those were some cool years doing that.
You think it will?
That was, I don't know. I don't think it will, but I wish it would because those were some fun times, man.
It was the TV days.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It was the TV, but you would think like with social media and digital marketing, digital media, the way it's starting to expand and grow with what you guys are doing, even
Yeah, I think it's too. Instead of being like here's the heavy hitters. It's more like there's no one major heavy hitter now. It's kind of like
a bunch of spread out.
It's spread. Like the focus is spread out because of the internet, which is a good thing. It's good.
Yeah.
But it kind of the days of like Lee and Tiffany, Mark and Terry Jury, they're not gone. I still look at those people as like obviously pioneers. But,
well, of course,
But like the shock value of like them just living inside of Outdoor Channel only.
Dude.
But like you said before, like they would set up times to be in a booth,
and
and there'd be a line of people just to meet them. Yeah, just to meet them.
Dude, I remember wanting to sit in line to meet Jim Shockey. Like, Jim was like the guy, like his cowboy hat, the flow. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I think if there's one guy I'm gonna sit in line and actually want to meet and wait for, like Jim was the guy. I'll be honest. I Lee and Tiffany and some, being in the marketing side of things, I met those guys and knew them. Jim, I never got to work with him personally, so I was like, man, it'd be cool to go meet Jim.
He had that mystery nostalgia to him.
He's still got it, dude. Like the guy's still
does.
killing it, man. It's crazy.
I met him at the hotel bar my first year at ATA, and I'm like, oh shit, and he came up, he's
oh,
like,
shit.
what's up with them holes in your ears? I was like, fuck.
Just
I don't know.
right away. Like,
Good point.
Putting his finger in
I'll
there.
fix that.
I'll take him out. And then like a couple years later, we ran into him again. He's like, oh, yeah, you're the guy with the hole. But he was cool. He's like, I used to have both my ears pierced back in the day. And he's like, I get
those
it.
holes in your ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back when he was doing like photo shoots and stuff with his wife, I think they were like on covers of magazines and stuff back in the day. Seriously,
like a good-looking couple.
like a model. He was a model, like no joke.
Damn, Jim.
Yeah, his wife was a full-on model.
Yeah,
She,
yeah.
You know, she's a babe. But
It's so crazy.
yeah, but yeah, those days are gone. But dude, enough
I don't
about
know.
ATA.
I hope that does come back in some way.
To a point,
I mean,
yeah.
you look at like this YouTube culture. You look at some of the social media, the TikTok culture and stuff. Like you go to some of these events outside of our industry. It's massive, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's crazy. So how could that not? I mean, maybe we're not reaching the right demographic right now, the younger generation, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot, just being a media marketing guy over the years. You know?
Yeah.
Like, how do we bring that back? How do we, that?
It's got to be a different way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. I would feel. I think it'd be hard to be like, yeah, come see. Maybe not. Like hunting public, guys would line up to meet the hunting public.
Yeah. Those guys have a pretty good following, right?
Yeah, I would think. Maybe I'm wrong.
They're not even here, are they?
I have no idea. Yeah,
I don't think I've even seen them.
I haven't seen them.
There's a lot of people not here, but if someone was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna set up for a meet and greet," I'm like, "No," because no one's gonna show up.
Nothing but hurt feelings there.
They were just like,
All right,
Hey,
here we go.
Well,
"Yeah, bring your kids out." we'll
We
cuss
like
at 'em.
face paintings.
free drinks and tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that might
free
get a
ear
lot.
piercings.
Yeah, free ear piercings, putting gauges in. But
You a doctor? No.
no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Dude, what do you do? Let's talk about some stuff. We gotta get into you instead of talking about ATA.
Yeah,
but-
no, I know. Man, it's been a crazy few years for me, and I know you followed kind of my journey
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. But over the last couple of years, I've been in this industry. It's like, man, you see these people over the years, and then they come up to you here, and they're like, "Dude, Collin, that's you?" Like
Yeah.
I used to be like another 80 pounds when I am now. So
Yeah.
I was always a big guy.
Yeah.
Walk around doing media marketing. Everybody knew me as the media marketing guy. But it's kind of crazy how you like shift focus. Like life can change. Like you don't have to be that same guy. You don't have to live that same version of yourself forever. You can transform yourself, right? You can change. So it's kind of my story the last few years is just kind of changing from this media marketing guy in the hunting industry, big guy, knows a lot of people, a connector, those kinds of things. But I've kind of transformed my life into like now I'm like a full-time coach, a performance fitness coach.
Yeah,
like
dude,
I've
that's
lost
awesome.
80 pounds. Last year I ran a 100-mile race.
I've seen that.
So,
That was nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's like, man, if there's one thing I want to tell people, like, hey, you don't have to be the same person your whole life. You don't have to stay in the same place. Like, elevate yourself, get around different people. Start to expand your horizons. Same thing with you guys. Like, you guys are trying to build this thing, right?
Yep.
Trying to build this media thing. You're adding new podcasts. You're bringing new people in. You're expanding what it could be.
Right.
Look at how it's growing now too. So. That's kind of been my life the last few years, man. Just trying to open up those possibilities. Like, I'm married with kids now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
for
you
sure.
know how that is. You guys,
Eric too.
Are you married yet?
No.
We'll get into it.
Close.
Still
Close.
fat too.
Still drunk and fat.
Yeah, still drunk, still fat. Not
Can't
married.
relate.
Yeah.
Hey, we can change that.
yeah. I'm not interested. No,
But you went on a health kick for a little bit, I know.
Yeah, well, I'm in and out.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna try.
And we're gonna try again, like starting in 2 days. But try again.
Got our mountain ops, right?
Yeah, that helps. It definitely helps. But
We're trying.
I want to get into that a little bit because, like, how do you just do that? Because you said you don't have to be the same version
Yeah, what
of yourself.
changed? Like,
Because-
what are you just like?
because let me lay that out. Because in my head, I'm like, it's something I want to do. Well,
Yeah.
it's one thing to just like. I get healthy like 3 times a year, and I lose like 10, 15 pounds, and I'm just like,
Yeah, screw this.
I love beer, you know?
I get it. I was the same way, man.
Yeah.
I hate when everyone's like, "Oh, you look really good," and then like the next time you're just like fat again.
You're like, nobody says anything about how good you look. You're
Yeah. I look like shit.
Interesting. Yeah.
Again. Again.
Yeah. So, but like,
Only took me 3 months.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I get it, but it's like, not just the health thing.
Yeah.
Like, it takes
Mindset.
mental
Yeah.
strength and
Yeah.
mindset to, like you said, like change the version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Was it like one of them things, or was it a growth thing where you're like, I got to work on this?
Yeah, man.
From the mental side.
Yeah, it was over a period of time for me. Like, obviously getting married and starting to have kids, like that is a big change. You know that. You understand that. Like when you have a child like that, I think for most guys who want to do something in life or be something better than what they've been, right? We've all went through our periods of time where we've done stupid shit and we still do that. we still do that, right?
Periods. I'm like, I remember
every day last week.
Yeah, we're like,
last night.
But you know,
we're all quiet. None of us said anything. We're just,
you get to that point where you have to kind of grow up a little bit, right? And
For sure.
and having a child, especially, I think was a big thing for me. Like I wasn't ready for it at the time, but once it happened, it was like, okay, it's time to grow
make
up.
some changes.
It's time to make some changes in my life. It's not just about me anymore. It's about somebody else now.
For sure.
So kind of doing that, like that brought me through a process of, man, like I want to show up for my kid better than my dad showed up for me. You know, so. Kind of my backstory is my dad was an alcoholic, and he didn't, he lived young and fast, and lived his life a certain way, which is really, it's fine, that's okay. He was who he was. He sobered up and has been sober and remarried and different things like that now. But I looked back at his life and how he raised me, and I was like, I have a different vision for how I want to raise my kids. You know what I mean? And in that moment, it was like an aha moment. It's like, well, I'm not really doing that. Like. So a couple years into having my first child, actually we were on our third child, my boy. I was like, man, I gotta change something. Like I'm not living my life right. I'm depressed. Like I'm out of shape. You know what I mean? Like I'm this guy who talks about doing these big things, but I'm not actually living it.
You're not doing it.
I'm not actually doing it, right?
So how old? You said that was your third kid. How old was your oldest at the time?
Yeah. So my daughter Sophia was 5. My second daughter was 4, and then we just had Collin, my son, at that point. It was like this was after 2020, so 2021, early 2021.
Yeah.
3 years ago, roughly. And like I woke up on Christmas morning. My son was due Christmas morning. He was late after that. He wasn't born until the next, 5, like.
He got
7,
robbed.
8 days. He got robbed in 2020. I'm kind of glad that happened though. I had a 2021 baby instead, But
your birthday's on Christmas. You're like,
yeah.
I got robbed 2 gifts.
No shit.
Or one gift. I don't know. Some people look at that a different way, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Right.
A Christmas gift and birthday gift combined in one.
It would be cool. Okay. Yeah. So,
but
also
no.
suck.
But yeah, I know. but no. I woke up Christmas morning that day and I was 300 pounds basically. Looked in the mirror. Basically got out of the shower and buck naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like I'm a fat ass, man. Like I'm
pathetic.
depressed. I'm pathetic. Like I'm not living my life right. I've got 2 kids already. I'm married. Like I'm trying to do something in my life. I've built a couple businesses at this point. Like, but now I'm in my 30s and like, what's the next? What does the next few years look like for me? I've got to make a change. I've got to do something. Otherwise, I'm going to be 350 pounds and who knows on medication or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or really depressed. Or diabetes.
I got the beatus.
And in that moment, like it was kind of crazy. It was like an aha moment. It was like God spoke to me, and like literally, it felt like God spoke to me in that moment. It was like, Collin, you have to take ownership. Like you have to make a change. It's not anybody else. Like you're making all these excuses. Like you said, we make these excuses, right? But this is on you. Like you have the choice to change and be who you want to be. And I, as a man of faith, I believe God will help you through that. But you have to make that choice. You have to make that decision to move forward and elevate yourself in a way. So that led me down a big process. The first part of it was more of a physical transformation where I was like, man, I played college football back in the day. So I've always been a guy who wanted to be in somewhat shape and lifted weights and knew my way around the gym, those kinds of things. But being complacent and being somebody who wasn't doing that for a long time, it's really hard to dig out of that. I literally was like addicted to food, addicted to drinking. You know, like
it's easy to slip in there. And
you get complacent, right?
We're like kind of in that boat.
We are.
Like
I like the honesty, boys. I like it.
Hey.
Straight up.
You can't change unless you're honest with yourself.
Well,
right?
Maybe the drinking.
But the thing, like I'm asking questions for like my own, like I'm curious, because that's why I asked like how old your oldest was at the time.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like first child, like, oh, I'm different now.
Well, you make a change, right? But it's not always that big change.
Yeah, it's like a creep to a point. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can relate. I think everybody can, especially like when you get into your 30s. Like catches up with you.
It does hit you.
you linger in shape for a while in your 20s.
Yeah, because
so
it's not the same. Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden you look in the mirror one day like I did. And you're like,
I'm a fat piece of shit.
Dude, what the heck?
You're
well said, Eric.
You're in your adult body.
Yeah, I've looked in the mirror and said, God, you're
I just don't even look at the mirror.
pathetic.
Doug doesn't have mirrors.
Doug took all the mirrors
out of the house.
I broke all my mirrors.
So I was just curious, but it's interesting.
I looked in the mirror, it literally looked in the mirror and was like, okay, I've got to take ownership over my life. I've got to make a change. Like, that's my decision. I've got to do that. So it kind of led me down this path of, like, what's that look like? And that, like I said, that was kind of a physical thing at first. I started, just getting in better shape, eating better, cut back on drinking, cut back on, different things. Started working out. Actually started training jiu-jitsu at that point. Started going for an hour walk every day, just like little things, not because I knew like over my time of like trying to make changes, like you were just talking about earlier, like you fluctuate, right? Like 3 months you're good, 3 months you suck, 3 months you're good.
Yeah.
Like I was doing that for a long time, that yo-yo, what we call a yo-yo thing, and or a yo-yo, I guess, diet or whatever you want to call it. But that's what I was doing for a long time, and I was like, if I can get consistent, like over a long period of time, I can kind of make this more of a lifestyle. And that's I had to change my mind. That's where the mindset thinking.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, I got to think long term versus just think these short bursts all the time. You know what I mean? Like what can I do slowly to build these better habits? And start to bring these habits into my life that are gonna kind of like compound over time and help me elevate, not just physically, but for me it was a mental, emotional, even somewhat spiritual like change in my life, as I started to build these habits into my life. So for me, like going for a walk, getting up and starting to get up early in the morning, going to bed, sooner at night, trying to get to bed 9, 10 o'clock and getting a better routine in that way, just eating better foods, eating a couple meals, 3 meals a day versus eating 5 meals a day or whatever, drinking more water, drinking more, Mountain Ops, whatever, taking my vitamins, those kinds of things were like, it's kind of crazy. Like it's all the cliche stuff, right? That you hear like coaches and diet people, like all the commercials and stuff. But like there is no get skinny quick pill like that. That's not a reality. Like,
sure.
You got to like build
and
these
why
habits.
Is that?
Yeah, you think.
Some answer.
Well, now they have surgery, so you can do that. Like you can go do surgery.
But I feel like people get surgery and just get fat again.
And that's true. They do. Like because they're not built. What are they not doing? They're not building a lifestyle. They're not building a routine in their life. So it's like they're not really building that habit into their life. It's nothing, So they just go back to what they know.
You get surgery, don't change.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this quick fix that just like goes away, For sure. You get fat again or whatever that is.
Doctor, what happened? Got fat again.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean that makes perfect sense. I feel like everything to this, and maybe correct me if you think I'm wrong for sure, but it's all mental. It starts there. I think everything does when it comes to that.
It really is. It's a mental. You have to change your mindset about it, and I think that was the biggest thing for me is like I had to take ownership. Like just that word in itself. Think about that word. Like I have to be the owner of my life. Okay, if I want to run this business a certain way, I have to be the one to like say, okay, I'm gonna build a routine in my day, and I'm gonna podcast every day for the next 36 days or whatever. Whatever that looks like for you and your different habits or your different goals, right? So for me, it really started out like, what's my vision for my life? Like, I've got these kids, I'm married, I've done these cool business things, but like what on that next level, what does my life look like? What do I want it to be 10 years, 20 years down the road? So I started looking at like, I'm a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if you guys are, but Arnold he always talks about vision. What's your vision? You know what I mean? And that's his big thing. And like, I started like thinking about that actually. And I was like, what is my vision? Like this guy came overseas from, wherever he's from and, came to America and was a big sensation because he had this vision for his life as a kid, and he turned that vision into reality by action, by taking ownership and doing it. It was like, if a guy like him can do that, like I think any of us could do that, Sure. So I started thinking about that. I was like, what is my vision? So how do I get to that vision? I need to start setting some of these goals, right? And start holding myself accountable to those things. So for me, it was like starting to surround myself with better people, people who were not necessarily better than me or like in that way better, like not that way, but just
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Doing things that I want to do. Like I look at
you're surrounded with
if you were looking at somebody who's killing it in the podcast game, like who would be like busting with the boys or like Joe Rogan,
I want to roll around with Rogan.
Yeah. Imagine that. Like you look at Joe and you think like, holy crap, look at what he's done.
Right.
You want to get yourself around people like that,
sure.
right?
Definitely.
So
yeah.
if you want to elevate yourself in life, you're gonna be the average of the 5 people you hang out with. That's a real thing, man.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way to put
I started bringing those people around me in my life, and the next thing you know, like I'm wanting to emulate them. I'm wanting to build that vision and those goals, and they're holding me accountable to it, and then we're holding each other accountable, and we're sharing new ideas, sharing new things in our lives. So that's kind of been the process, man, for the last 3 years for me, is just building my brotherhood, building that band of brothers around me, getting around the right people, getting around people who are going to help me, pull me up and say, hey, you can do better, you can grow.
Right.
You have to take ownership, of course, right? You have to be the one to make that decision to do that. But once you have that transformation in your mind, like it's not easier. That's not the right word, but you can start to see like where you could go.
Yeah,
and then
that makes sense.
You start to have some success in that, and you start to feel that little buzz of a success. It's like a little hit of success, and you're like,
to me, it seems like it's like
you're
trying
cool.
to push a big boulder, and then you finally get it rolling, and then it just like gains momentum.
Starts to roll, right?
It rolls easier and easier.
Easier and easier, and you get stronger too, though. It's not just that it gets easier. I think you get stronger. You get better too.
For sure. Yeah.
That's a big part of that component. I think a lot of people miss is you're growing, you're getting better, you're elevating yourself, you're raising your standard because the standard of people you're spending the most of your time with are at this other level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then those people are reaching out and trying to be with people that are above their level. That's just natural human. We want to do that as humans. So I know you look at guys like Joe, like he's trying to surround himself with guys like Cam or The Rock or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like think about that for a second, like on a higher level. Like he's surrounding himself with those higher level people so he can continue to grow and build what he wants to build in life. So that's kind of been a big part of that process, is just bringing those right people around. But then also,
I gotta get new friends.
Dude, I was just gonna say our group sucks.
We all drink too much.
Yeah, we're the average of all 5 of us. Pretty shitty average.
So we're having an aha moment right in the middle of the podcast.
Sucks.
Hey, you want to be a host?
We need you.
We got you outnumbered, though. That's a problem. Yeah, you be the average of us.
that might be true.
That sucks for you.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go.
There you go.
Second thought.
This is not it.
But no, I see you guys trying to do that though. I can hear it in you, like authentically, like okay, like guys like Jake from Mountain Ops, right? Like that guy's a stud, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to bring those kind of people around you, right? You're trying to associate yourself with those people. I mean, it's really a matter of you wanting to do that and take ownership over that. We can choose who we want. Here's the thing. It's not like I'm just getting rid of my old friends. Like, that's not what's happening. I'm not saying, oh, screw you, dude. Like, you're a loser.
Or just shake hands, all of us.
Like, I'm still friends with people who maybe I'm not going to spend a ton of time with. We're still friends. We're still associates. My hope is that they see my change and my growth and be like, dude, I want to be better in my life. Or I want to become something greater in my life, too. Not that I'm trying to change them or make them do something. It's just leading by example. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Simple as that. Just like you want to be to your kids, right? Or you want to be to your wife, or you want to be to your friends. You know, you want to lead by example in that way. So that's what I look at. I think taking ownership in your life is like trying to get that idea. Okay, how can I lead by example in my life? And I started to want to serve others. So that's where I was like, man, media marketing, like doing that kind of stuff, like isn't really like my vision for my life. Like there's something greater here. There's something where I can help people on a different level. And so going through that weight loss transformation, I lost 100 pounds.
Man, that's wild.
over a 2-year period. That first year I lost 80 pounds. The next year I lost 20. The 20 was hard. Those last 20 pounds. But I also started to train for a 100-mile race at that point. So I hate running. I hate running, by the way, guys. Like, I know you guys follow some of my stories.
I'm sorry,
and stuff.
but that's so fucking far.
Dude, think about that. 100 miles.
100 miles?
Yeah.
Well, our buddy, you know Shad Venatti, our buddy from Indiana? You'd
I don't think I have.
He does a lot of them, like, 100-mile stuff, and
does some trail racing and stuff like that?
Ate up with it.
Really?
He's done it a long time, too.
That's cool. Is he a hunter, too?
Oh, yeah.
Trad.
You would really like him.
I'll have to connect with him.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
I'll have to get his details.
He
quit drinking, too.
Language.
He quit drinking, too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. Good for him. Yeah, that's I'm on that train. Not that I had, like, a problem with it, but or think it's bad. You know, I have nothing against that.
Dude, you could always drink less, and it's better.
No, exactly. Well,
for sure.
there's a ton of research now that's coming out. I don't know if you'll ever listen to, like, Huberman Lab podcast. That'd be a good one for you guys to just to dig in and like how he does his podcast and stuff like that. He's like one of the top guys out there now. But a lot of research. He's like a psychologist, or he does a lot of research and stuff like that. Yeah. Actually, he's a neuroscientist, is what he is. So they do all this research on stuff, and he was like, just having over one drink a week is like super detrimental to your health. Oh, like it makes you hold on to weight more, it makes you sleep worse. Oh, like all these. And I've been there. Like that's me, right?
We drink more than one drink a week, and we don't sleep in general.
Think about that. Think if you
one
change
drink a week is aggressive.
That's not a lot.
That's low.
What? But I know what you're saying. Like
no, it's just like. And I started doing that research, and I was like, like if I want to run these kind of races, I want to do these big performance type things, or if I even want to build a business or show up different in other areas of my life, what are some of these little different small things really in the big scheme of things that I can change that I really don't need in my life, that really don't affect me in a way? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've had some fun getting drunk and partying and having in my younger days having a good time, man.
Yeah, you got to go through that to know.
Nothing wrong. I mean, if you want to be that guy and do that thing, hey, that's more power to you. I've went through that phase. Came out of that phase, and I was just like, you know what? I think there's something different here that I want to do in the next phase of my life, the next version of who I am, elevating myself. So business is a big part of that, being a leader in my business and doing things that are serving others, right? So I became a coach through that, through this, like the fat guy became a coach. But here's the thing, like that gives me some power. Excuse me. That gives me some power to be able to speak to those people who are 300, 350 pounds.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah,
that struggle, how hard that is to go from that weight, addicted to food, addicted to different things.
You were there.
I was there. I can relate with it.
It's a lot easier for someone to see like someone who did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna like
this guy did it. Like look at a picture of me.
You're the guy they want to talk to because it's hard to like, hey, I'm not
just some guy who's buff. Like
I've been buff my whole life.
Yeah, like talking to Jake Powers or you.
Yeah, Jake.
I'm gonna be way more.
Screw Jake,
dude. Jake's been ripped his whole life. The guy that was his lifestyle his whole life. Which kudos to him. Like, dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Like he's super insane. And I was actually just talking to another one of my buddies yesterday here at the show, who's a coach or trainer, certified, and he was like, dude, what you've done is awesome because I've been ripped my whole life. I've been working out. That's been my lifestyle my whole life. And when I went to coach and train people, like they couldn't relate with me.
Right.
They like would fizzle out so quick because they like I can't give them that empathy that you can give them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So going through that process, that knowledge, that there's power in that knowledge you have going through those phases of your life, and it sucks that I had to go through that, learn that hard way, and be
but it'd be different
if
you didn't though.
But that brought me to that next phase of my journey, right? That brought me to where I'm at now. So it's like it's cool, like. Now I'm a coach, and now I'm doing I'm helping with fitness, performance, nutrition. A lot of it is mindset, like you were talking about. Like it's crazy how the mindset aspect of coaching is like the big. You think back, I played sports in high school and college, and you think like the best coaches I ever had. Why were they good? It wasn't because they were like. Physically like getting in my face necessarily. It was more like, hey, they spoke to me in the right way and encouraged me and empowered me, right? They helped me like shift that, look at things a different way, right? And that for me like spoke highly. Kudos to my old coaches and stuff like that for speaking that into me at a young age. And you don't realize it at that time, but now I look back and I'm like, man, that's like my strength. Like that's part of my communication that I can bring somebody else to give them that value. Yeah, I can write them a program to help them work out, right? I can help them understand nutrition better, to eat better. I can help them, get more movement in the day. I can say, hey, cut some of these things out of your life. But ultimately, it's the ups and downs of that grind, through that process that is really going to either keep you in it or knock you out of it. And that's I was that guy. I'd go 3 months and crush it. Every day I'm working out, doing my thing, feeling good, sleeping good, drinking a ton of water, whatever. But then it would fizzle out,
Yeah, one little thing changes. You can't make it to the gym one day or whatever, then it's just it's a downhill.
Or even halfway through the day, think about, oh crap, I screwed up on my diet today. Well, today's a wash. I'm just gonna cancel today. I'm gonna drink 1010 beers now today. Might as well.
While I'm at it.
Might as well. You know what I mean?
Go get 2 Big Macs.
Well,
I fucked up today.
That's honestly, maybe this is me trying to be like, yeah, everybody does that, but I think most people get busy and it's like, oh man, I didn't figure out what I was going to do for lunch today. fuck it, I'll just
grab a quick bite.
I'll just grab something real quick.
We freaking go to Casey's, bro. Grab a pizza, piece of pizza.
Hard not to.
It's so good. It's so good, you know.
Our trade show season's tough. It's like
a couple pizza right now.
Dude, we don't. You're right. Okay, for sure. Casey's too. Stop it. But at trade shows, it's like, oh, we're going. Oh, dude, we didn't even eat lunch.
Yeah.
Like we forgot to eat lunch.
Oh, I know.
And then it's like, just go. Someone go get us a bunch of sandwiches or something.
Yeah, whatever.
We just have to eat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's just shitty planning.
Yeah.
There you go. That's part of building habits, is like that, building that planning and that preparation into your day. So if you're on top of shit, like, dude, you're thinking about that yesterday, right?
Right.
You know, you're thinking about that the day before you get into that day, and just trying to think, okay, how can we have something set up in here? Maybe a cooler full of good food that we can dig into and snack on throughout the day, instead of running down to grab the quick cheese.
Instead of having 3 Grizzlies full of Busch Light. Are you attacking us?
I told you at the start there was going to be a lot of truth in this podcast. I did say that.
You did.
You weren't supposed to see that.
Jordan, coolers out of here.
Yank them.
No, but
we do have mountain ops. We're good.
No.
It's funny.
We're starting.
I'm with you, dude. So, like, a coach on the physical side, you a lot of the mental side. Like, I'm sensing like there's a lot of like therapy type stuff that goes on with it.
I mean, there kind of is. Like, that's another part of like my business. So I do the high caliber nation is my coaching side, but we've talked about this quite a bit. High caliber hunts. So
that's
the other side of it is. Really, I started with this idea of doing these hunting camps, okay? Like, we all love hunting camp, right?
Oh, yeah.
We love hanging out in hunting camp, having a good time. Yeah,
it's the best,
right? Because we can let loose, just chill out, be relaxed, be who we want, be who we are, right?
Yep.
I mean, you guys always do that, but most guys don't. Like, most guys are kind of reserved and quiet and don't really put who they are out there in real life. And I think that's just how we are as men, you know? Like, we don't want to be made fun of, or we don't want somebody to we don't want somebody to hurt our feelings or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
And that's just reality. But I was like, man, what can I do to like use this passion I have for hunting, especially growing up in Minnesota, doing deer hunting camp every year.
Yeah.
Like, good food, hanging out, campfire talks, and then obviously hunting, you know? And I was like, there's got to be like, this hunting camp thing is like gone away. Like, nobody's doing this kind of stuff anymore. It's just not. I mean, people are still doing it, but it's not like it used to be, man. Remember deer camp as a kid or whatever? That was the best. Like, I looked forward to that all year, and I was like, what if I could create this thing where it's like people are looking forward to going into hunting camp, but maybe it's with a bunch of guys who you've never met. You know what I mean? It's kind of a cool thing. And like, I think today we have a lot of these guys out there. I know for myself, like, I want to meet new people. If I'm coming to a show like this, it's kind of fun to meet new people. And obviously, it's fun to connect with old guys that you've known for years, but getting to meet somebody new who maybe you could build a business relationship, or maybe they can, they become your new friend or whatever. And I was like, I could take this idea for hunting camp and like bring guys together who have similar interests. Maybe they're into working out. Maybe they're into building their business. Maybe they're into they're a dad, they're a husband, whatever. They have these similarities. And they're on kind of a similar path, but they've never met each other. So that's where like this high caliber hunting camp idea came in. And I was like, it'll bring people together to do a hunt. So we're doing like pig hunts in Texas, which is a simple, fun hunt.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys,
low pressure.
Yeah, low pressure. Hunting over typically a feeder with bow or rifle or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of opens up the possibilities for guys who maybe haven't hunted before, or maybe want to. Leave Illinois in the wintertime and come down to Texas and enjoy, some
get
warmer weather, right?
Refresh.
Yeah, exactly. Like that little vacation retreat in a way.
For sure,
like a retreat in a way for men. So that's kind of how it started. But I really found out, like, when we get in camp, especially as men, we get that shoulder-to-shoulder interaction that, like, we can just chill. We can relax. We can just, especially if you don't know anybody there, you kind of feel like you're in a safe space. It's like, this guy doesn't know who the hell I am. He doesn't know my story. What does he care? You know what I mean? So I can just I can be who I am. And that kind of created this like open book mentality where it was like I started to see guys like I would open up like, dude, I'm struggling in my marriage right now, or I'm struggling in this, or like, man, my physical fitness isn't where it needs to be. How can I change that? So I started talking about my struggles and the things I was going through, and that started like we're sitting around the campfire, just having campfire talks, hanging out as boys,
shooting the shit.
Shooting the shit, exactly. And next thing you know, John over here, he's opening up about what's going on in his life. Like he's maybe thinking about committing suicide. And I'm just like, dude. some powerful stuff here.
Right.
These guys are starting to talk about things that they've probably never talked about to anybody because they feel like that they can be in a safe space. They can be a little bit more vulnerable. I know we don't like to hear those words as men. It's kind of we don't say those things, right? But it's the truth. It's the reality. Like, there was some freedom starting to happen. I could see that around this campfire. I felt it myself. I was able to open up. It was like campfire therapy, bro. Seriously, like, you're literally like, we joke like, oh, therapy, come on, man, like, that's stupid. But dude, as I started to look at this, it's like, it's literally hunting camp, deer camp, campfire therapy is what it has become. And it's like giving this opportunity for guys not only to connect on a different level, build a better bond with other guys, but it's freedom. There's freedom in that.
Yeah,
like
right,
there's stories happening. There's conversation happening. Now these guys are leaving hunting camp, just spending 2-3 days together, and now they're going home and be like, dude, I just met my new best friend.
Yep.
Like, we text every day, we connect every day. We do that anyway, right?
For sure.
But now imagine those are the guys that you want to be around because you want to elevate yourself. You want to you want to bring your life to a different level. Yeah. I mean, there's so many possibilities in that, but that was kind of like what high caliber hunting camp is, and I could see that so it was like, okay, these guys want to do this, but now they want to stay connected, or they want to elevate themselves in a different way. So I was like, this kind of creates an opportunity for me to maybe, through my experiences and what I've went through, to coach some guys who want to pay for that service, right?
Yeah.
So it opened up a business opportunity for me, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, high caliber hunts is a business. People are paying to come on a hunt for that experience, for that opportunity. But it created this other experience where I was like, or this other opportunity, I was like, man, I need to start like coaching guys. Like, guys want this. They want help with these physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health in their life. They want to grow in these areas. So that's when I started the coaching stuff, and it was cool. So that's I do one-on-one coaching with those. I have 15 full-time clients that I'm working with on that side of things, which is really cool. But now those people, it's an ecosystem, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Those guys want to do this. These guys want to do this. And now the guys in the hunting camp and in my coaching business are like, how can we get more connected with everybody as part of this, and how can we get more people part of this?
Yeah,
so now that's kind of the next iteration I'm starting to think about, like, how can I expand this to, like, this network or this community of people, right? Like, you guys got your working class bow hunter community, like, you got like a Facebook group, right? Like, and you're connecting with these people all over. That's powerful.
Yeah.
There's power in people, right? When we start to meet new people, connect with new people, we start to, draw closer to certain people and, like, build that relationship. I was like, how could I do that in my own way, in the physical, mental, emotional, in those ways where guys can connect on that level? So kind of the next iteration of what I'm doing is going to be called High Caliber Nation, basically. So I'm kind of rebranding it, and hopefully from there it can start to serve and reach more guys and kind of get us more connected. I have some women that I coach as well, actually, on the physical side, but for me, like, I'm a man. I want to serve other men. I want to see us as men rise up. I mean, I don't know. We can be politically incorrect on this podcast.
Say whatever you want,
man. I think there's a lot of men that are pussified today, man. Just to be totally honest, like, we're not men anymore. We're not standing up for our families, our country.
100%.
We're not standing up for our values and our characters and those kinds of things. And
for sure,
I look around at people that I've looked up to for my whole life, and yeah, I've had some people in my life that I don't want to look up to, right? And I want to be different than them. But then I look up to some of these guys who have made an impact, who have been my mentors. And I'm like, man, if I could be half what that guy is.
Right.
You know what I mean? That guy's a man. Like, growing up, I didn't really have a great example of what a man or a dad or a husband looked like. So I have to get myself around somebody like that to emulate that, to learn from that. So so that's kind of, man, that's
I love it, dude. I think it's like, it's all positive stuff. It's all
cool.
Beneficial. You couldn't find a negative in any of that if you tried. If you did, you suck. Like really.
It's real life, man.
It's
like,
real,
dude, we struggle with things. We life is not peaches and cream. It's everybody wants to put their perfect spin on social media.
Well, that's the thing. Like, social media paints it like everyone's like happy
picture,
and this, and then
everyone goes through shit.
Everybody goes through shit at different stages in their life, different types of stuff. But if someone wants to go on a high caliber hunt camp, do they just how do they do that?
Yeah, man. So obviously, connect on social media. That's kind of how it starts. I get a lot of referrals from other guys who've come to. I've done 4 full hunting camps. I do private hunts as well. So I've got guys that come on those private hunts. But basically, come to my website, highcaliberhunts.com. I have an email list there, so I kind of keep people in tune. I got a Instagram page I try to keep updated. I'm kind of a one-man show right now at this point, right? But we've got it's been a real blessing, man. Like when people come to the camp, come into hunting camp and hang out for those 3 days, it's pretty impactful on them. Where they go home and they tell their buddies, and like I have guys who
word spreads fast.
They've told their friends, like, dude, you got to come, and then they'll come back to another camp and bring one of their buddies, or tell their buddy to go, and it's kind of starting to build this following where like
compounds. And,
it compounds. So I started it out with doing 10 guys, and I was like, man, there's a lot of logistics involved with 10 guys in a hunting camp. So then it went down to 8 guys, and it was still it was a good number. There's still a lot of logistics, food. We're bringing in a camp cook and stuff like that. We're not just, really the basis of this isn't just the hunt as well. You know what I mean? It's like the hunting camp experience, hanging out.
The hunt's a bonus.
We talk about the deeper topics. We sit around the campfire. There's kind of like a framework as part of that time. So it's
cool.
like you're not taking a nap during the day. Like we're hanging out. We're hanging
productive.
out talking about stuff. You know what I mean? It's productive. Exactly. Yeah. So I've kind of got to this point where it's like 6 to 8 guys is really that good number of guys to have in, but it also creates like this demand, like where, hey, you're going to be around 6 super solid guys who are going to help you, move towards that version of yourself that you want to become. They're going to be good, high caliber guys, right?
Yeah.
It's in the name.
Yeah,
so,
any more than that can kind of like it's like a crowd, and it's hard to focus it.
Yeah, you don't have that time to talk and get to know each other and really, really dive deep into those deeper conversations that are really important to have. I think so. Yeah, man, I have a hunting camp coming up next month, actually, February 16th through the 18th in Texas. So we have guys that fly in from all over the United States to come in, and
that's awesome.
But yeah, just stay in tune on the Instagram, on the website, the email list, and I'm always starting to put stuff out there. Basically, like I kind of have like a list of guys who are like, hey, reach out to me for the next one because like I'm not ready to go on this one, but I'll be ready for the next one. So guys will put deposits down and they'll start paying towards that.
So you do something for 25.
I know. We've been talking about this, man. We gotta look ahead on the calendar and
make it happen.
It took us 4 years to do a podcast. It's gonna take us 8 to do a hunt.
Dude, this is.
We need some therapy.
Hey, brother, we do need some therapy.
We need you now.
But here's what I think about. Like, think of the followers you guys have. You guys have this awesome following of bow hunters out there, right? Of these guys out there who love hunting. They love the outdoors. They're family guys. They're building businesses. They're doing some cool things in their life.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine them getting to be in hunting camp and come and hang out with you guys for a couple days, and how that can not only change you guys, but it can change them, and we can get ourselves around that community, that core group of guys. Those are the guys that are going to come to that who've been following you guys for years, right? I mean, I think you guys are doing some bear hunts and stuff and putting that out there, right? And doing some different things already. Where you've got guys.
It's not as like hyper focused on.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing. It's fun. It's hunting camp.
That's more about the hunt.
Yeah, it's more about the hunt.
Which is fine.
The camp vibe is there, especially like bear hunting. You're not really always going in the morning.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like a vacation. There's no like. I don't want saying that there's not a positive structure to it. That doesn't sound right because that's not true. But because you're hunting and everything.
Yeah, there's nothing negative about that.
Yeah,
the bear hunt is just hard because you get back so late.
Correct.
At night.
Yeah, you're
hustling. Exactly.
You're hustling, and it's not like it'd be hard to do for us like a rut hunt whitetails because everybody just want to be hunting the whole time. You're not really, late at night, and then everybody's tired.
Just get back and I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I like the social focus on what you're doing, man. I think it's really good.
Well, we'll look ahead on the calendar, man. I can think like next winter would be really cool. Like we start pumping that out there, like now for next year. Like we get like a group of 6 guys out, who want to come out and like hunt. That's the thing. Like it's chill. It's like we're hunting bow hunting from from blinds that are we can. Over feeders, in
fun.
Texas in the winter, it's nice. It's comfortable.
That sounds fun.
I have different,
some hogs.
Nice lodge and stuff like that to hang out. I always bring a good camp cook in, who feeds us well. Slaughter a bunch of pigs, and then we sit around the campfire in the evening, have some good conversation, some good time. We can make that whatever we want that to be, whatever that conversation needs to be. And it just opens that door for more opportunity.
Yeah.
But then also the other part of it that's kind of been cool is. Like usually like on Sunday, if we do like a 3-day, we come in on Friday, hunt Friday, Saturday, and then maybe Sunday morning. Typically guys have killed by that point. And we'll sit around and cut up hogs together, man.
That's awesome.
Cut up pigs and. A lot of these guys who've come in have never even hunted before. So they're learning how to cut up a pig for the first time or cut up an animal for the first time. Mm-hmm. And then we've even taken some of the, back straps and thrown them on the grill and had breakfast together and stuff like that. So they're getting to try it.
Yeah, that would be fun. Cool.
I'll typically bring in like chorizo that I've already made, like Mexican chorizo is a big, like
wild
hog. Dude, so good on tacos, man, and with eggs and tacos and stuff like that, man. So we're doing a lot of that kind of stuff, It's, dude, it's just
I'm
that.
fat.
Yeah, I get you guys fattened up, and then I'm like, hey, you guys need a coach?
Hey, I see where this is going.
You want to lose that?
Doug, you're slipping.
Here's my card. Ever have a guy sign up for a hunt and then like he's just there for the hunt? He's like, wait a minute, what?
Are you talking about your feelings?
What's going on here?
Huh? Have a seat.
Have a seat.
Chris Hansen.
There's more here than you realize.
Okay, yeah. What are you doing here? Dude, I love it, man. I love it. It's all positive. We need to get you. We want everybody to come to our studio, obviously, at some point.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
It'd be fun to do this.
We'll make it happen.
But it'd be cool, if we can set something up for 25 or the future, the next couple of years, like do a podcast in camp. But then, like that seems like an environment. Like do a podcast first.
Yeah.
Put the cameras and recording equipment away.
Just have a good time.
And have a people because
show a camera in their face.
Yeah. What are you going
Start
through?
Crying.
Yeah. See, I don't want.
What
that.
are you on, brother?
Well, I don't want that to like affect people from because you get this stuff out and the recorder and people aren't around it. They're like, oh,
yeah.
What are you doing? So
no, it does. Like we're careful. Like I'll bring a professional camera guy, and usually for like doing B-roll content and kind of creating a story around what our hunting camps. We'll do some short films. If you go to my website, there's a couple short films there.
Yep.
Kind of just showing the process and what we're doing in camp, so you can get a good idea of it. But but when we're sitting around the campfire, man, no cameras. Like, typically I tell guys, put your freaking phone away.
That's
man.
awesome.
Don't even bring your phone.
Actually, one of the camps last year, we had no phones, which was fine. I realize, like, you're in camp for 3 days. You can't just not have your phone. You got to kind of stay connected a little bit. But I'll say, guys, hey, and I'll lead an example. Like, I'll just put my phone away and say, hey, let's enjoy this time. Like, we only have 3 short days, right?
Just throw your phone in the fire.
First thing,
guys,
everybody.
By the way, guys, here you go.
Yeah. Whoa. I'm not doing that.
Hey,
What's going on here?
Think really about this, though. Imagine the last time that you actually did put your phone away for even a day. Think about that for a second.
That's why I said it before. It's Bear Camp, Wyoming, because you don't have service there
for
a week.
Anyway.
For a week, so
you might as well just put it away, right?
It's crazy.
Sits on the cot.
Your phone will stay charged for a week.
You're like,
because you're not using it.
Yeah. What's weird is like you still want to check it though. For some reason.
You're so addicted.
But
I know.
Well, you put your phone on the cot, and then you're like, oh, I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
Don't need it. No one.
It's like a refresh button, man.
Dude, it is.
It really is.
I'm starting, dude. I'm starting the deleted apps process.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm filtering some stuff, and then I'm working on it. Like I'm implemented this like literally like 4 days ago. I'm social media while I'm working only from 8 to 4:30.
It's a good habit to build
window,
into, man. Your kids are gonna see that too, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna learn from that. And be like, look at Dad. Like he puts his phone away during a certain time, or when he's hanging out with me, he's not sitting on his phone the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
I catch myself doing it where I'm just sitting there scrolling. I'm like. And my kid's just sitting there. And
you're doom scrolling.
Yeah. And I'm like,
you're just randomly
what am I doing?
I should be hanging out with my kid right now.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
We all do it.
Yeah, you didn't mean anything by it.
Right.
But it's good.
An addiction.
You're just like, oh fuck, everybody slips into it a little bit, but it's to recognize it and then get out of it. But yeah, dude. Well, for sure, you're welcome back anytime. You got to get to the studio.
Yeah,
we'll have our own version of hunting camp there.
Dude, that'd be so fun.
Dude,
that'd be fun.
Well, the next iteration is actually high caliber campouts. So not just a hunting camp, but now we can expand. Because a hunting camp, like I said, 6 guys is all you can really bring in to really have that be impactful, right?
Yeah.
But think of like coming out to Texas in the wintertime when it's not super cold out, 50, 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Bringing your tent or whatever, camping out on a nice ranch, hanging out, eating good food. For us, it's like maybe getting a workout in together, going for a run. Doug, you want to go for a run? I heard you're big into running.
A beer run.
You're going to be in shape by the time this happens. So
my knees are bad.
Going on a beer run.
But
100 miles. Huh?
All right, boys, put your shoes and your shorts on. We're going for a run.
Doug's back is broken.
I'll see you in a week.
But doing stuff like that you enjoy being in camp with those kind of people, doing some cold plunge, some sauna therapy, doing some shooting bow, shooting rifles, stuff like
That'll
that.
be fun.
And then sitting down and like actually coming up with a vision for your life, or coming up with some goals that you want to set and like accomplish in your business, in your family, like whatever that looks like for you. I find there's a lot of guys that haven't done any of that kind of stuff, that kind of work before in their life, but once they do it, they're like, holy crap. Like,
well, dude, that's what
like
you
it wasn't go someplace. It's not a bad thing. No, it's a
dude. I feel
thing.
like you get so busy, you go to sleep, you wake up, and you're almost 35, and you're like, shit.
Dude,
what did I do?
Yeah,
for real.
Where did this time go?
Yeah, that's just part of it.
We did this started this 9 years ago. It does not feel like it feels like I don't know.
I feel like I graduated
Yesterday,
high school 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I
don't know. It's all good.
Where does time go, man?
Well,
I don't know.
Crazy.
You're motivating. You make me want to do better things. I'm trying to be positive here.
Oh, sorry.
Throw your watch out the window. You're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw my phone away.
But, no, dude, I really appreciate it, man. It's good chatting
thanks
with
for coming
you.
on.
It's cool to see you like you just take control of that and like you're just
It's awesome.
positive. You're just positive all around. It's awesome, man.
Appreciate
cool,
you guys.
so.
Good to hang out with you guys too. I've been a huge fan of what you guys are doing. That's why we've gotten connected and stayed connected over the years. And man, you guys are making a positive impact in what you guys are doing too. I can see it. You know what I mean? Just by being real, being authentic to who you guys are. Spreading obviously the bow hunting message, those kinds of things. Getting good people on your podcast to talk about hunting, the outdoor lifestyle. Dude, that's huge. That's super important.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all doing the same thing, really, just in our own way, right?
For
so
sure.
we need to get together more, bring the band of brothers together and do a hunting camp and make that happen. So
I'm all in.
I'm all in.
So fun.
Let's do it.
Slaughter some pigs, dude. It's so much fun.
I'm in. Let's plan on that, and then I think our firearm podcast, Victory Drive, needs to get in on this too. And
dude,
we need to do that.
That's right. There we go.
Stay in your corner.
Hey.
Well, cool, man. I appreciate it. We'll do more. Check out High Caliber Hunts. I'll link everything in the episode description so if people want to check it out. So
appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Hey.
You know what to do. Go shoot your bow. We love you. Peace.